Okay, so we're starting. Welcome back to another episode of Life with Lenoci podcast. Week 15 in the books. Here we are. Thank you guys for watching. If you are listening right now, thank you for listening. Our radio audience, we appreciate you. Leave a 5-star review. If you're watching, like, subscribe. Before we go any further into the podcast, this is what the YouTubers do. Before we go any further, like and subscribe and comment throughout the video. Thank you. So we'll just get that out of the way. Let the music hit the soul, man. Just let the music hit the soul right now. I know that we're not hearing music, Mark, but like, be there with the audience. We saved a life today. I saved a life today.
You're super smug.
I am continuing to save a life. Okay, so first things first, before we get any further, we got you gotta love when the music hits, because that really brings the best out of people. So I think you gotta soak that in. Do you even know what that means when I say let the music hit? Do you let music take over your body? Do you?
Yes, sometimes, but I'll be fair. I'm not a big music person.
Okay, that's fine. But Mark, there's a thing, and it's real, and your soul could be driven by music, and that is why it's the universal language, because it doesn't matter what language you speak. Everybody can connect to a sound. You don't even, let's say it's just house or something like that, where there's no words. I could be sitting here with a complete foreigner, and we could both be bobbing our heads and look at each other and go, I know what you're going through. I connect with you. That's unbelievable, and that's crazy. And I just had to let that out, and the music fades out. Okay, guys, so here we are into the episode, and what I wanted to get into, I said I saved a life. I was on a walk, okay? I walked to the gym, and let me go back. I'll take you to the beginning. So on Monday, I go to the gym, right? I go to the gym a lot. By the way, off topic already, 178 I hit today at one point on the scale. Listen, though, my weight fluctuates like 3 to 4 pounds every day in a day, right? But I weigh myself right when I wake up, and then I also weigh myself when I get home from the gym. I saw 178 on the scale. Pretty incredible. Whereas I saw 191 on a scale on June 1st. So that being said, we're working. We're doing it. We come here. We have a little treat, because I have to give myself a treat when I'm here, because there's fucking snacks everywhere, because this podcast studio is a pothead studio. There's a bunch of, women will never come in here. If a lady walked in here, she'd be like, this place is gross. Right?
90% of my clients are women.
And are they all like, this is gross?
Not at all.
Are all of those women not ladies? Is there a difference between...
No, you're very wrong.
Okay. You could think I'm wrong. They're not ladies. They're not ladies. A lady would be like, this place needs do you know what I'm talking?
No,
if your wife walked in here, she would be like, this is disgusting.
I will admit that the cleaning people were supposed to come yesterday.
Okay. Either way, a lady would come in here and be like, this needs a makeover, this place. It needs to be like, bro, this is a frat house. You don't think this is a frat house, this podcast studio?
This particular studio?
No. This whole place is a frat house.
I would say it's more of a WeWork frat house.
Mark, you're making me question your own home, and now I want to go see it. Is your lady clean and organized?
Oh, she is OCD.
Okay, so then you know she would walk in here and be like, it's icky in here. It's icky.
Well, like
it's
I said,
icky in this studio.
It's normally cleaner than this, but we had a bunch of parties.
Do the people that run the studio watch my podcast?
No.
So then we're okay. So then I was like, is he worried that we're allowed to? We're busting balls on the studio. I'm just saying, I don't mind the place. I like it. I'm very appreciative of it. I'm just saying, if a lady, not someone who uses the studio because they're into pot and they need to get content, if your wife walked in here, she'd be like, it feels a little icky in here.
She also doesn't like the smell of weed.
Nobody really does. I don't mind it. I don't mind weed when I'm smelling it or I'm participating, But like when I walk in here, the stench of it is just like you're like.
Well, yeah. To be fair, so there was a guy smoking on the couch like 20 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, I mean you can always. There's always someone. Do those guys still have their podcast in here where they're smoking blunts the whole time?
Which one?
There was that one time like they would fog out the whole thing when we were doing.
Oh
Village
no,
Idiots.
they're gone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're on hiatus right now because they shot a bunch of episodes.
Oh. We should probably shoot 2 episodes this week. I gotta go to Vegas for a week and do Laugh Factory, by the way. So if you guys are listening and you're in Vegas, hit me up for ticks. We'll see what we can do. Okay, but before I went into that, so been going to the gym, walking to the gym, and on the way to the gym Monday, I see a squirrel scurry by, right? Like we always do. What?
This is this thing again. I remember when you like tried to
possum.
save the was it a possum or
It's a
a
baby-
rabbit last
No,
time?
it was a baby. First of all, last time I'm on a walk, I see a baby possum wandering by itself. I go, well, I don't know. I've never seen this before. I see a baby possum. I go, this is something I've never seen in my life, right? Has anyone ever seen a baby possum just alone? Never had seen one, let alone seen one by itself on a stroll like it ran away. So I was like, this is weird. I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh, he's cute. I don't know what to do. He runs up into the bushes, but like it looks like disoriented. Maybe like it's a special possum. I don't know. I don't know what was wrong with it. Didn't seem anything physically wrong with it, but it was just like wandering. Goes up in the bushes in someone's yard. I'm not gonna go walk up. You know what I mean? But like I was documenting it on my stories. I didn't want to I didn't know what to do. Right? People were telling me what I could have done, but ultimately I left it because I was like, oh, it went in the bushes. Maybe it's safe. I don't know. Documenting it, gave it a name, forgot what its name was. This is like a year ago. Got attacked online for that because one lady, because this is why I got attacked. The next day I'm walking by. This is the same walk on my way to the gym. I go and that baby possum's dead, just laying up in the bushes, deep in the. Like I ran up and I peeked around and I go, oh, there it is, and it was dead. People were mad at me. They're coming at me online going, you could have saved this. You're a piece of shit. Instead, you're just coming at me like I recorded the death of a child on and didn't do any, like I'm watching a fight. You know what I mean? When people are recording fights and nobody jumps in to break it up or something bad like that. We're talking about baby possum. I don't know. I don't want to get, by the way, do you guys know about rabies? I know, but do you know about rabies? I didn't know about rabies. I knew rabies was a thing. I didn't know that there's no cure for rabies. And if you get rabies, you die.
You get the rabies shot.
There's no cure for rabies. Look it up. I did not know that. No, you can get a rabies shot, but once you get rabies, you're screwed. That's why you can prevent it but if you don't have a rabies shot as a human, you don't have a rabies shot. Go look what happens if you get bit by a rabid squirrel or a rabid anything.
Huh.
Isn't that crazy? How come nobody is talking about that? How come nobody is talking about if you get rabies, it's over for you. It's a slow death. You could die in a year. You could also die in 6 months. You could die in 3 weeks.
It's crazy those people who play with squirrels then. Like, what the hell are you doing?
I had first of all, I'm appalled that this isn't like everybody needs to be aware of this. How was this not like, guys,
because
careful.
everybody got a rabies shot.
No, animals get rabies shots. When did you get a rabies shot, bro?
I got it in 5th grade.
Bro, 5th grade, it's worn out. You can't prevent it. It says, like, that's what's crazy. So if you see a rabid animal, like, get away from it. I Googled all about this and I was like, this is shocking. Nobody warns us. Like, people need to know if you get rabies, you could die. And look how it says it. You could die slowly. You could die in a year. They don't even know. They don't even know when you're going to die. Isn't that fascinating and scary? And nobody's talking about this. Like, this is not, I mean, I understand people aren't showing up with rabies, but I mean, that's how a zombie apocalypse is going to happen if it does. But that's so fascinating that like, oh, how come there's no cure for rabies? I had no idea. And this whole time I'm thinking, oh, we're fine. We could play with wild animals. No, you can't. No, you can't. That's crazy. What are you reading? I need to know.
I'm reading the Mayo Clinic document on
Are you
rabies.
Isn't it fascinating? You had no idea, right?
No, I was always taught that like, hey, you get the rabies
Me too.
vaccine. It helps in case you ever get it. Same with
Me
like
too.
tetanus.
Me
You
too.
get the tetanus shot.
Me too.
Like, hey, oh shit, I was stabbed by a rusty nail a minute ago. I think I'm good.
Yes, me
But
too.
like, seek medical attention.
What is? Yeah, someone told me they had got bit by something. They were worried, but it's fine. It was a small scratch. And then I was like, what do you mean? And they said, just Google what happens if you get rabies. And then I did it, and I was like, this is terrifying. How is there not a horror film about rabies?
Oh, there's plenty.
A horror film called Rabies?
Well,
Where?
not called rabies, but they've done a ton of movies about rabies.
What do you mean? What movie? Name one that you can think of.
I'll look.
Like I'm thinking of horror movies. I'm thinking of Jason. I'm thinking of Freddy Krueger. Krueger. Okay. Either way, let's get back to the story.
There's literally a movie called Rabid. There's a movie called Rabies.
Okay.
There's Rabid Dogs.
Question. Have you seen any of those movies?
David Cronenberg's Rabid. Cujo.
Mark, have you seen any of these movies?
No.
Then that's my point. There's no rabies movie that everybody knows about. That's the whole point.
Old Yeller.
What's that? About the dog?
Yeah. The dog gets rabies. They got to put it down.
No shit. And you know what they don't teach you in that movie? You better put it down, because if you get it, you're going down too. That's what's crazy about this rabies thing. So that is a defense I have for people who are attacking me about the possum, right? Possum dies. Didn't know that. I learned from that situation. I go, oh, there are places you can call that will come pick it up. Fine. I had that in the back of my head, right? I'm walking and I see a squirrel scurry by, right? And interestingly, it catches my attention because it doesn't run away like a normal squirrel would run away. It's running away, kind of dragging along and trying to go up the tree, but can't really go because it's only using its two front ones. It's almost like it's paralyzed.
Did
like,
it get run over?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, did it get run over? But like, how would it still not be squashed? Like, it would have had to just get
Bicycle?
Something, right? You could guess all day. We'll never really know. Maybe it got poison and it killed its back legs and it's paralyzed. I don't know. Who knows? Attacked by a bird. No idea. But I see it go up the leg, and I come around a corner and I see it again, and I could see it see me, but like it can't really get, and it's going kind of up the tree. But I'm like, in my head, I go, oh man, that's sad. He's injured. And there's nothing I could do because he's like still able to like move around. I'm just like, oh, I hope he gets better. Right? That's what I'm thinking. And I move on from that. And that was Monday. Today, I'm walking. And as I'm walking, same walk I take to the gym. I walk to the gym. It's close. Okay. So I'm walking, and here I see, I go in my head. I actually thought, I go, I wonder if that squirrel is okay. You know what I mean? Like I was like, let me go see. So I went to the area.
You're growing.
I went to
It's therapy.
I don't know if it's therapy, but I think it's just like, you know, I thought about him, and I go to the tree. This is again on someone's yard that I walk by, and I go to see if he's around there, and sure enough, he's right at the edge of their wall, just sitting there going, breathing, and flies are on him already. So I'm like, how is he not dead, but he's dead? You know what I mean? Like their flies are on him like he's dead, but he's breathing and his eyes just open, but he's not like blinking. And I'm like, what the heck? And that I'm completely overwhelmed with emotion because I'm like, this is the most awful way to die. He's just getting eaten alive by these flies, like flies that eat dead things, right? But he's breathing and like panicking. So I'm like, I get over there and I'm like, I blow. I try to get the flies. I go, get off of him. I'm yelling, get off of him. And you know what? I don't care if people can hear me because I want people to hear me. Because I want people to come around. You know what I mean? We're in Hollywood. We're in Los Angeles. There's people everywhere. So you know what I mean? There's always people walking. I want people. Sure enough, I've seen 4 or 5 people walk by. Nobody questioned what I was doing. Nobody's neighborhood watching. Maybe I'm breaking into a house. No, I'm trying to save a squirrel. Nobody cares. You know, because I'm like, stop, get off him. Nobody cares. You know, no. There's an old lady losing her dogs down the street. I don't know. I was gonna ask some of the yard guys. I'm like, do you guys want to help me with this? Nobody seemed to be concerned what a sketchy kid's doing at the front of someone's house, like looking in the bushes. Like that would make me go, what is this guy doing? I'm getting the flies off. They keep going back. I take a little water and I pour it on him. I pour it on the squirrel. I go, maybe he's hot. Maybe I'll get rid of the flies. That didn't work at all. Okay. But
you waterboarded the squirrel.
He moved a little bit. Then he started moving, and then I see him drag a little bit. So he's dragging like what's his name from Forrest Gump when his legs get blown off. What's his name? Dan. Lieutenant Dan. You know, remember when he's dragging? That's what the squirrel is. Lieutenant Dan. He's dragging around. That's what the name of the squirrel should be called, Lieutenant Dan. And he's dragging around, and I hear him, and I have it documented on my story. I hear him go, bro, what am I supposed to do? At this point, I'm locked in with this guy forever now. So now I put it on my story. I go, I don't know what to do. It looks like he's suffering. I can't take this thing out. I don't have a gun. I'm not going to stab it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this thing needs to be put out of its misery. I start Googling things. I call one place. I go, hey, I got a squirrel. We don't deal with squirrels. We deal with rats and mice and stuff like that. I go, well, who would? And she's like, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You're in the business of this world. No. I can't be the first person that's ever called you about a squirrel that you're like, no, we only deal with rats and mice. Well, who can I call? No idea. That was mind-blowing, right? How do you not have any idea? Like that's like me calling a pharmacy and be like, where's the nearest doctor? He knows. He might not be a doctor, but he's in that world. Like, I was so annoyed. I was like, you don't. So I Google more. I call, like, I saw some wildlife places 26 miles away. Then I finally get a hold of one number and I call and I go, hey, I got a squirrel here and it looks like it's suffering and needs help. And they're like, okay, text this number and then text them a picture and where you are. So I text this number. I text this number and I go, it's an 818 number. And I say, hi. And then I text 2 pictures and a video. And I go, hi there. Which city are you located? I send the cross streets and I go on the corner of these cross streets in the neighborhood. And this place they go, we can take this little guy under our care if you are willing to bring him to us tomorrow. So, yeah, I have to, obviously. And he goes, since we are closed, we close our gates at 4 p.m. So thank you for helping the animal. We accept patients from 8:30 a.m. until the gate locks at 4 p.m. Our address is blah, 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 Calabasas. That's like so far. That's so far. So whatever. I'll drive, west and then, I'll make, Haley go with me or a friend. We're going to make this a trip. And it goes, once you're onto the road, we're 0.4 miles down the road, driveway on the right with a red mailbox marked CWC. Important. Now it says this important. Place the animal in a sealed shoebox with air holes. Please keep the animal in a quiet environment to decrease its stress levels. If you are unable to make it to us within the hours, place the box in a quiet, dark location overnight until we open again in the morning. Do not provide food or water unless otherwise instructed by the CWC technician.
What is CWC? I want to know that first.
No idea. I just Googled something and it's...
Because it sounds like you're going to someone's house.
Care and wildlife care or something. Who knows? But either way, I ignored that, obviously. This thing clearly needed water and food because it couldn't go anywhere. So I gave it almonds and stuff and it right away like grabbed the almond like this, bro, and went... started eating it and started drinking water and it's all like it's working. Like it's almost like he's like loving it. And then so whatever. I gotta
wait.
It's California wildlife.
The squirrel?
Yes. I have
it's at home.
In a shoebox.
In a shoebox.
With holes in it. With a little blanket with a bunch of almonds around it and
potentially
water.
with rabies.
Well, it doesn't have rabies.
Yeah.
But I washed my hands.
So you picked this thing up. You put
with
it
a towel.
Yeah, with a towel. Okay,
yeah.
You didn't just scoop it up with the shoebox.
No. No. But that part was very scary, and I don't really have an appetite today. It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
But I left it, and I hope it's alive when I get back. But
you don't think a squirrel could chew through a shoebox?
It's not. It's not going anywhere. It's tired. It's tired, it's been in pain, and it's clearly paralyzed.
So, question. You said you saved a life today. It sounds like you've just captured something.
No, I'm definitely... Well, listen, if I left it there, it would die tonight. That's a fact. If I left the squirrel there, it would die tonight. It is going to live, and I'm going to take it to this destination tomorrow, and I'm going to be invested and call them.
But
and
who's to say that you just don't take it to the CDW place, and they're like... Yeah, we gotta crush it with a brick.
Well, no,
It's
they'll
not gonna
obviously
live.
inject it though. At least it goes out peacefully and not dying by flies to death. And his name's Teddy.
You named it.
Yeah. So Teddy is under my care right now. For all I know, it's
So you haven't saved him yet. You're in the process of saving.
I would say that if I even had left him at this point, it's 7:30, and I saw him at like 4. If I, he would be dead at this point.
Wait, so how does... Never mind. Just so many thoughts.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm worried, but like, what if I come home and he's dead? Then I gotta do what? Put him in the trash can? No, I gotta have a burial.
You're gonna
bury him.
You're gonna bury him.
I have to because I named him and I've taken him under the care. I don't know, man. I'm just saying, what would you have done? You would have ignored it and walked over?
Where are you gonna bury this thing?
I'll go to a park.
And you gotta like bring a shovel? Do you own a shovel?
No, but I'll figure it out. I'll put him in an air fryer. Eat him.
Nice.
Well, our heart goes out to Teddy and his family. We hope that he gets better and makes it through this night. And if he makes it through this night, it's all uphill for him. I will wait for you to see if there is an actual video.
Yes.
There is, and it's real.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yes.
That's actually kind of entertaining. I mean, yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I've seen this video.
Yeah,
before.
we've all seen this video.
Oh, I remember.
He's
this.
just trying to climb and he's just reaching for everything.
But to be honest, that's what this squirrel looked like it was doing.
Maybe you just captured a drunk squirrel and you put him in the drunk tank. All right.
What a throw. Okay. After all that talk, I had some serious notes that I was going to talk about. And it's just like, I'm in a good mood now.
Well,
you
last week you had a note that you were like, oh, I keep forgetting this one.
Oh, it was pulled the fire alarm in college.
Oh, boy.
I mean, it's a story, but I mean, it's really not like a growth. It doesn't really help anyone listening. It doesn't help us. It just makes us laugh at and make us realize what an idiot I was.
You are growing.
What do you mean?
She's giving you the tools.
You know what? She canceled on me last week.
Oh.
And then I was like, all right, this time works for me. Never heard. And so I just had to rebook another schedule for this week. So I missed a week with no okay, guess she's like not that worried about me probably. That's what that tells me.
I would say this was your best week yet.
Yeah?
Because you came in calm today. You even cracked a joke over text.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, I was just making sure, we don't have to get vulnerable, Mike. Mark, I'll hold it if I want. I like to hear it. Then it makes it real. How are you though? Let's really get down to it because we know that you have a lot of issues. So what's going on?
I'm good. I'm actually good right now. I got a lot of projects done. No, there's a lot off my plate now.
Okay, so you got nothing to do now.
It's starting to feel like that.
Are you still talk to Ricky?
I'm supposed to see him in the next week.
It'd be cool if we could sit him here and we just talk about life. Tell him the squirrel story. How funny if I just go, dude, Ricky, I got a story for you. And he just is like, uh-huh. I'm like, what would you have done in that situation? We got to get Ricky on here. He's the only, listen, for my podcast, I'm only going to have less than 30 guests throughout the whole lifetime of this. They're going to be people like that. Very unique.
What's your top 5? I want these people as guests.
All right. Ricky Williams would be one.
Okay. But he doesn't go by that name anymore.
What does he go by?
He changed his name to Eric Morin.
Okay. Well, whatever he wants to be called, I'm calling him Ricky Williams. Not to his face whatever. I don't know that. Well, we'll talk about why he changed his name. I mean, that will be the whole thing. I'm like, why'd you change your name? So whatever his name is would be there. Obviously, someone like LeBron James. Obviously Eminem.
Why you say obvious and have never heard you mention either one of those people? I would have said Dwayne Wade would probably be 2 for you.
Dwayne Wade would be 1 for sure. Well, I mean, LeBron James has been such a big inspiration to me, and so has Eminem. But I've met Eminem, but I would like to obviously sit down with him and talk to him again. Now that I've have a rapport with him, and be like, "Hey, what's up? Good to see you too, bud." Um, but I would like to. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Mr. King James would be cool. But like, also, I would love to have guests on here that are like doctors, maybe like a highly recognized therapist. Like that would be fun.
I would love to have something like that.
Yeah, me too. Like if we could reach out to
I would
people
love to
that
have like
are-
a relationship doctor. Come on.
Oh, that would be great too. I think that's interesting. Like I don't really care to have comedians on here as much as we like to talk about the comedy world. I think that would be very interesting if we had specialists on and we could talk to them and ask them questions so that we are learning and growing as a person. I could be like, what exactly is wrong with Mark? And she'll be like, for starters, his appearance is lacking any self-confidence. It's just like he gave up on life. And I'm like, I've noticed that too. And she'd be like, yeah, well, I mean, partly is because he's sad inside because he doesn't have birthdays. As a matter of fact, it is Mark's birthday in 5 days. Who is excited about that? Who's excited for Mark's birthday in 5 days? Wow. How far we've come, huh? Now your secret's out, dude.
Yeah.
Your secret is out. I'm going to text you happy birthday and you're going to be like, huh? Oh, fuck. And you're going to cry. And it's going to really open you up, man. Dude, everybody comment on this episode because you already missed it. That means it was on Monday. This episode comes out on the 13th. It was Mark's birthday. Everybody in the comment section go, happy birthday, Mark. Happy July 11th birthday, 7-Eleven. Happy birthday, Mark. It's his fake birthday because he has trauma from his real birthdays. Let's make him ruin this birthday. Let's make that make this his real birthday. That something bad happens that he has to change another birthday. That would be unbelievable. I don't know. I mean the pulling the fire alarm story in college will come for another time. It's not right now.
Question for you.
Here we go.
Something popped up. Did you create a new page for yourself on Instagram?
Yeah, I did. Stand up, Michael Lenoci Michael Lenoci comedy on Instagram.
Why? I'm just curious.
I want to just post. I feel like the algorithm helps newer accounts, so I'm just gonna only post stand up on those. Like whereas my page will have everything and be more personal, but also I'll post personal shit. This is gonna be only stand up clips on that page. Like all just reels.
And you're hoping to like catch the wave of
maybe. That's gonna be strictly like a TikTok page. Like it's just literally only reels. That's it. And I want to see. I'm just kind of seeing how that goes. And
God, it got suggested to me last night, and I was like, God, I hope it's someone just trolling him, making a Michael Lenoci or a super fan.
I'm suggesting it because I'm not suggesting it. I created it because I'm like, and it's already like what. Just in that matter of time, 36 followers in 3 days. But because you know why? Because of the podcast clips. They're going like I'm already at 194 on there. I don't share them on my own page. It's a organic growth. This is all from posting reels. 194 have come from the reels. Like today, I posted it. They get 10,000 views, bro. I can't even get that on my own page. What the F is that about?
Interesting.
Isn't that weird? I'm like this account has 194 followers, right?
You've been shadow banned.
I don't know what it is. It's not shadow banned because I can look it up. Like I've tested it on other people's phones. When you type in Michael L.E., it pops up. So it's just like, it's something weird and I can't fix it. But this has 194 followers on my podcast account. And today's clip that I posted 4 hours ago has 10,000 views. It gets in the algorithm. This whole page is in good algorithm of my podcast page. So I'm just going to keep posting podcast clips.
Because those videos look really crisp.
I mean, that helps, right? It definitely helps. But like, bro, this one is so... I love it because it goes to the random people and they get mad. And it's just people...
I saw the comments today on that.
For the road. It's fun, right? You're just like, oh, this is great. This is great that it's working. Like Well, one of them is saying,
You're so privileged.
oh yeah, I don't care to do the work, but I'll take time out to do the work on editing a clip out of your podcast to say how much you don't care. Like, yeah, because that's my job. Like, that's such a dumb comeback. Like, oh, you don't care, but you'll take time to edit. Yes, my job is the podcast. But yes, so it's just funny how this gets react. But then I go to my personal page, which who knows what's going on. Oh, I'm saying, the comedy page. I did a stand-up clip today, 36 followers, right? 4,000 views.
What?
On that. Now I go to my page, posted great content today, which everybody was loving, and this is 12 hours. It has 10,000 views in 12 hours. But on my page with the 40,000 followers, and has the ratio of likes is great. So people are loving that skit I did on Hollywood Boulevard, Derrick Rose versus Wade.
I enjoyed that.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought it was hilarious. It's like, I can't believe that was the first place they went. It's like, come on, Steve Rose.
Yeah. So that being said, that's crazy. So I'm like, all right, fuck this algorithm game. I can't fix my Instagram. I'll post my vlogs on there sometimes. But now if I post a podcast clip, I'll do where it's together. And if I post a stand-up clip, I'll do it together. Mm-hmm. So then I'm just building those two pages. They're specific to what they are. A podcast, and they only get that. Podcast only gets podcasts. Stand-up only gets stand-up. And then my page just is whatever. It's a base. But we'll see. I don't know if that experiment works, but it's something I'm trying out. And, if you're a comic, you could try it out. But, like, you got to keep, going into stand-up, you got to keep growing, man. You got to fucking – we've talked about this before. And this kind of goes into what I was going to talk about. We all have egos a little bit. Like, I dealt with this a couple times last week where I think I deserve more sometimes. Do you relate to that in your world? I guess it's different because it's not art in a way. So I'm trying to think, like, I don't know how somebody would relate to that if they were just like, when you were a manager or an agent, right? Like, I don't think you deserve more because you're like, well, we're all working at the same. Nobody's doing more than someone else.
I can absolutely relate to that because there's a certain point. There's always a person above you, and there's always a person above them, and it was always like, I actually had this conversation this week. It's the why not me?
Yes, it's a little bit of that, but for me, it's like God, I'm putting so much energy and work into this, and it feels like this is where you can get into a bad mindset. I feel like I was thinking last week, I was like, man, I feel like I'm not getting what I deserve for what I'm doing. Right. And I was like, man, like, this is a little frustrating. Like, I should be booked more. I should have more followers. I should have more for the content I'm putting out. Like, I think it's good. Like, I should have more. Like, it's not, it feels like it's like, what the heck's going on? Like, something's like against me. Like, and then you could look at, like, you take a step back, and that's just really your ego, really. But everybody feels like that, by the way. I think sometimes people don't admit it, but I think if you're, even if you're someone as successful as Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, Bill Burr, right? They might be thinking, like, how am I not the fucking most famous comic in the world, right? They could be thinking that. And then there's comics who are younger than, like, I mean, for sure, there's comics who are 3 years in who think they should be a paid regular at all the clubs. And then there's guys at my level who, like, they should be like, well, how come I'm not getting recognition to be offered specials or something like that or whatever, or to be getting all these time slots? Like, I'm like, I know I could do better than whatever. So everybody's thinking that. But then the thing is, if you always hear this, it's so cliche of like, you got to look at your blessings, right? You're bored with that one, huh? You hate that saying?
No,
but it's true. But it's hard to think that way, right? Because I could be like, wow, how many people would kill to have this?
Yeah, I have. No, 100%. No, I trust me. Yeah. I believe in that statement.
Yeah. What I have right now with just this podcast, great. People would kill to have this. They don't even have the ability to do that because they don't have the funds, or they don't have the equipment, or they don't have the person that wants to work with them. Same with my vlogs, right? They don't have a guy who can do that to shoot those things. Then I'm like, oh, the amount of shows I have. Sure, there's times when I go 3 days without a show. But then there's times where I'll have like, oh, I still have 16, I have 20 more shows before the end of this month, right? Because I have 2 big good gigs. People would kill for that. 4-year comic Mike would be like, whoa. 4-year comic Mike would be like, with all the things I'm doing, would be like, are you fucking awesome? That's awesome. What would fucking 20-year Mike say? Would he be like, ooh, you could have done this, or this better? Or who knows? Oh, it's hard. It's very hard. Well, I mean, do you not feel that way in your line of work sometimes?
No, absolutely.
Oh. And what do you do?
The only thing I can do is just put your nose to the grindstone and keep working.
Yeah. Well,
because it's the only thing that will take your mind off of it. You're either going to sit and stew or you're going to work towards it or find someone to do it for you.
Yeah.
There's 3 options.
Do you sometimes you feel, obviously, like you talked about it today, you said, oh, I feel like I have so much stuff off my plate, and now you feel like you're ahead and you have everything organized and now you can work cleanly going forward?
Everything is so much cleaner now.
Yes.
In terms of like, there's large looming projects and then those are clearing out. So now it's just a bunch of small manageable things that I can just do day by day and not take up a ton of time thinking about, oh, this is going to be weeks of progress. This is going to be weeks of that.
Yeah, I feel cleaner and organized with, I have 3 things I work on, and then I just have to cut things and post them. Podcast, vlogs, stand up, right? And all I can do, I guess sometimes you feel stale. You're like, oh, there's 3 months of that and nothing really moved the needle. So you'll go, all right, well, what can I do? Nothing really, just keep going. You just have to keep making more videos. And it's like, I guess there's little wins, like the podcast clips. They're in a weird algorithm. Cool.
Well, I've told you this statement before, like there's no such thing as a failed podcast with 500 episodes.
Well, I think you're going to start seeing more of that soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that was true 5 years ago, but now you're going to see a lot of podcasts that are going to hit 500. And they're still just,
but they're going to have like super religiously fanatics if people are listening.
True, that is true. You just have to find a rhythm, and
Would you rather have 10,000 people that listen or like 100 religious people that listen?
10,000.
But even if it was like,
there is like 100 that listen religiously.
Yeah,
we already have that, and it doesn't really move the needle. So, I'd rather have no. I mean, you want to get. I think you just have to have a thing. Like, I think it's important to have a podcast where people can come back and like, it's not just a silly time, and it's just like, oh wow, like. And again, I don't think a lot of podcasts do that, but like nobody's really belly laughing. They might like smirk or like ha at some of the stuff we're saying, but like I think they have to come back and they gain something from every episode. They learn something, whether it's us talking about rabies. No, but maybe hearing us talk makes them, maybe it gives them comfort in whatever's going on in their life. And I mean that's why we say, if you want anonymously,
one of the guests is going to be a speech therapist.
Write in to lenoci.michael@gmail.com, and we can maybe go over some of your problems, and we have insight into whatever you have going on, whether it's relationship, work, career, anything like that. And I think that can be something specific to where people are like, maybe they're like, oh, this is interesting. Like the other people in this world have the same issues, or maybe when we're talking, they're like, well, we go through that too. I don't think we go into depth of what necessarily is bothering us, but like relationship wise or career wise, maybe more career wise. I just did stand up wise. I just talked about the frustrations of which I think everybody goes through. And then you're like, okay, I do have this. I have this. I have this. There's a lot of have. Then even personal life, you have a loving girlfriend. You have a loving wife. We live in a great city. As much as people think it's not a great city, we have great weather. I've went to the beach consistently 3 out of the last 4 weekends. Every place has shitty stuff. We're healthy for right now. Mark doesn't look healthy, but whatever. We assume he is. We have our health. so far. Our parents will probably have less health in the next few years. But you know, career-wise, we're both in the same situation. We're just like, all right, we're putting the work in. I hope this pays off, because if it doesn't and we're 45, we're both going to be bald and fat and divorced.
I'll be fat, but I won't be bald.
You'll go through so much stress if you're sitting here producing this podcast with me and we're both losing money. You'll start losing your hair. I don't care how thick you think it is. If you don't, then I'll fucking make you lose it.
Okay.
I'll make you go down with me. I think I'll leave you with this. Going into what we were just talking about, have you ever read? Anyone can Google this. Actually, it's all over the internet. Have you ever read anything about like what is some of the common things an old person or someone on their deathbed says about life, looking back on life? Do you know about this? What are
No, I'm aware that there's like tropes, but I'm trying to remember what they are.
Some of them are like,
well, it starts with Rosebud.
I regret working so hard because it didn't matter in the end. What mattered was the relationships with the people I care about, right? And spending more time with them. Chasing materialistic things completely don't matter. Regret. That's a big regret of like nice clothes, like all of those things that you thought were important in the moment weren't as important. Too much time into your career rather than with someone. It could be another regret. And it's like, which is all, there's a gray area because sometimes we need to do things to keep our mental health in line and be happy though. You know what I mean? Like, sure, we could take less time doing things we love and focus on the things that really matter, but we also need it for our mental health. But there's other things like, there's a whole bunch, but one of them is like, it's the number one thing I think is caring what other people think. Just ultimately, you realize when you're old that none of that ever mattered and nobody was ever thinking about you the way you thought they were thinking about you. And I think that's one of the harder things in our lives is no matter what anyone says, whether they want to say it or not, everybody cares what someone else thinks. There's just, it's hard not to. There's a group of people, whether it's close friends, whether it's family, whether it's your wife, or whether it's peers, you care what people think. And it doesn't matter. And it only gets in the way of what you're doing. And if you can eliminate that extremely, you could be ultimately the highest version of you. Pretty cool that I said that, huh?
Therapy's working for you.
That was pretty cool. But isn't that crazy? But that's the hardest thing to do, though. The hardest thing to do would be like me being a comic and being like, I don't care what other comics think of my stuff. Yeah. I mean, is there some comics that think like that? Maybe. They definitely care what the people think in the audience, right? So I think, that's food for thought. Is that the right saying?
Yeah.
Thought for food.
No.
It's food for thought.
Yes.
So, I mean, you guys take that however you want. I'll probably clip that part. That one is very nice and sweet. There will still be upset people in the comment section. But I mean, I think ultimately that's the hardest thing. And if we can just realize that it's not that important and that nobody is thinking as much as you think they are thinking of you, then you can be the highest version of yourself. So on that note, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, leave a 5-star review if you're listening. If you're watching, please push the like button, subscribe, tell a friend, comment. Remember, it's Mark's birthday on July 11th. Tell him in the comment section. And we will see you guys next week. Have a good weekend.